She called her a sister, shared her dreams, her pain, her heart. But the same woman stole her fiancé, lied about a child, and almost got away with it, until the truth came knocking. This is the kind of betrayal that doesn't just break hearts, it changes lives. Welcome to Tales Across Waters, where real-life stories unravel with emotion, intensity, and truth. If you enjoy stories that mirror life, filled with heartbreak, growth, and justice, be sure to like, subscribe, and join our family of listeners across the globe. Now, lean in. This is one story you won't forget. Melissa and Janelle were inseparable. From SHS to university and even during national service in Accra, they were more than best friends. They were family, sisters in every way that mattered. Melissa was soft-spoken, elegant, and effortlessly admired. Janelle was the louder flame, bold, assertive, full of ambition. But while Melissa blossomed quietly, Janelle began to resent the shade. It all came to a head when Melissa introduced Chris. Tall, well-dressed, successful, and deeply in love with her. Janelle smiled, congratulated her, and made a silent vow. She wanted what Melissa had. It began with a kiss. One night, long before the engagement, Chris and Janelle shared a moment, a laugh, a drink too many, and then a kiss. Chris apologized instantly. "I love Melissa. That was a mistake." But Janelle, she stored that moment like currency. And when Melissa traveled to Tamale for an NGO program, Janelle saw her chance. She showed up at Chris's place, said she was dropping off Melissa's charger. They talked, they drank, and again, they crossed a line. A few weeks later, Janelle missed her period. The test came back positive, but she had also been seeing someone else, Aaron, a struggling photographer who had charm but not much else. Still, she made her choice. She told Chris, "I didn't plan this, but I'm pregnant. It's yours." Chris froze, ashamed, confused, and terrified. He begged her not to say anything to Melissa. He wasn't ready to break her heart. Janelle agreed, but only because she was playing the long game. Meanwhile, Melissa noticed the change. Chris had become distant. Janelle, oddly, was more supportive than ever, too supportive. Then one night, Melissa's close friend Amma sent her a voice note. "Your girl, Janelle. I saw her enter Chris's place around 11 p.m. alone." Melissa didn't say a word. She logged into Chris's WhatsApp using her iPad. What she found: hundreds of messages, secrets, midnight calls, a photo of a sonogram. Her stomach turned, but she didn't scream. She didn't confront them. Not yet. She sent out invites to a small bridal blessing, a pre-wedding celebration for close friends and family. Janelle arrived wearing white. Chris sat stiff, his guilt bleeding through his shirt. Melissa stood to give a toast. Smiling, she said, "They say keep your enemies close, but I didn't know mine was wearing my dress and sleeping in my fiancé's bed." Silence, eyes shifted. Then she turned to the back. "Aaron, would you please?" Aaron walked forward, handing her a sealed envelope. She opened it calmly. "For those curious, the baby isn't Chris's." Chris's breath caught. Janelle blinked, stunned. Melissa looked her in the eye and said, "You wanted my life. You can keep the pieces that remain." Then she turned and walked out, tall, composed, free. After that day, Melissa disappeared from their lives. She moved to Cape Town, started a new chapter, quiet, private, powerful. But Janelle wasn't done. She insisted the test was fake, that Melissa was jealous, that the real test would prove the truth. Chris, humiliated, torn between logic and emotion, let her talk. He didn't leave, but he didn't marry her either. Janelle gave birth a few months later, a beautiful baby boy. She named him after Chris's father. She plastered them all over social media, family photos, cute captions, hashtags like "My King," "Forever Ours." Chris stayed, but something gnawed at him. The timelines, the whispers, the baby's face that didn't quite resemble his. On the child's first birthday, Chris did something quietly. He collected a strand of the baby's hair and sent it for DNA testing. The result? 0 match. The child wasn't his. He stared at the report for what felt like hours, number all the lies, all the silence, all the pain he allowed because of guilt and manipulation. He packed his things that night, left without a word. Meanwhile, Melissa, who hadn't spoken to either of them in over a year, received a message from a mutual friend. A screenshot. Chris had posted something on Twitter. Healing is realizing the fire you ran into wasn't punishment. It was the mirror. Melissa smiled. She didn't reply, didn't repost, didn't need to. She just closed her laptop, looked around her bright, warm apartment in Cape Town, and whispered to herself, "Peace always wins." Some betrayals are loud. Others whisper behind your back with a smile. But truth walks in without knocking, and it always settles the score. What would you have done if you were Melissa? Would you have exposed them, stayed silent, fought for him, or walked away, and let karma handle the cleanup? Let us know in the comments. And if you love this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back next week for another true-to-life journey. Only on Tales Across Waters.